Hello everybody, it's Vinyl Rich here. I'm doing something a little different. I had my wife pull 21 records from the closet up above here, and this section of my collection doesn't have any of my recent finds, so they're all going to be albums that I haven't shown. I have no idea what's in this stack of 21. I can see the first one here, and it's Rolling Stones, Still Life. This is a live. I believe it came out in '81. I saw him on this tour. This is a pretty good album. I mean, I like this album. It's a typical. I mean, it's a good live album. Next one. Oh shit. Brother. Lou and Derek Van Eaton. That kind of reminds me of me and my brother. Oh shit. It's a gatefold. I'm not going to open any of these. This album here, it's on Apple Records. I don't remember it that well. I remember I do. It's a pretty decent album. Warm Woman, Sun Song. Yeah, I kind of remember what it sounds like. I mean, but I can't really describe it. Oh, here's a really good album. Sex Gang Children, Song and Legend. This is a great album. I saw this band at Perkins Palace in Pasadena, and I wasn't really sure if the singer was a male or female playing back. He was pretty trippy looking, but they were excellent. Excellent album. It's people call it goth, I guess, but I don't know. Oh, here's an Infra Riot. Still Out of Order. This is a Oi band from the 80s, punk scene, England. And I think Emergency? Yeah, Emergency. I remember that song. This is a good album. Okay, next one. Oh, it's a Talking Heads. Workshop Image. This is a live recorded 8/28/77 at CBGB's. I don't remember the quality of this. I think it's pretty decent. Next one, Sugar Cubes. This is their first album. This is the band that Bjork came out of. I saw this band, the Whiskey A Go Go, and they sang all the songs in Icelandic. It's pretty interesting. I remember there's a guy on there, good-looking fella, Brad Pitt-looking guy, and I wish he just would have shut up and just let Borg do the singing. But this has that song "Birthday" on it, Motor Crash, Trader. This is a good album. A little different. Oh, got Frank Sinatra, Cycles. This is that 60 era, mid-60s, mid to late 60s. I really like this era of Frank Sinatra. From Both Sides Now, Cycles. It's a good album. Next one, Prince, 1999. This one, for me, it hasn't held up that well. 1999, Little Red Corvette, Delirious. I mean, it has some good songs on here. It's a double album. It might have been better suited just to be a single album, but I don't like the electronic sounding drums. I'm not a real big fan of that. And I don't know. It's been a while since I've heard that, but I remember the last time I did play that. To me, it didn't hold up that well. This is Wishbone Ash, New England. This, I don't know, maybe mid to late 70s. I don't know where it's at on maybe their fourth album or later. I remember this album. It has some really good guitars, really good rocking songs, and then it has some, what I would say is crappy slow songs mixed in. Oh, this is a great album here. Second Winter by Johnny Winter. This is has 2 albums, but only 3 sides. The 4th side is just plain, no grooves at all. But this is a great album. Side 2 is probably my least favorite. It's kind of like oldies stuff, with the exception of his rendition of Highway 61 Revisited, the Bob Dylan song. And anybody that hasn't heard that, Highway 61 Revisited, the Johnny Winter version, check that out on YouTube, man. It's got to be one of the best guitar solos in rock. And side 4 is just kick ass. Oh, another really good album. Mothers of Invention, Uncle Meat. This is my copy from when I was in high school. Pretty well preserved there. Good album. I like all the early Zappa. Oh man, I didn't even realize I had this album. This is Spirit, their first album. I had forgotten that I had this. This is a really good album. LA based band, Fresh Garbage. This is a good album. Really good 60s garage, I guess. I don't know. Oh, another good album. This is Iron Butterflies, Metamorphosis. I heard this album for the first time with my friend Sal. I remember Sal. He was in my in our class in 5th grade, and he was a cool dude, man. We used to call him, his nickname was Soul Sal. And then my freshman year in high school, he was in one of my art classes, and we became buddies again. And this is a good album. Yeah, I remember hearing this at his house. Side 1 of this album, I really dig. Oh, Miles Davis. I have 2 copies of this album with different covers. I guess one is a Japanese. Now, I didn't realize it was the same album. But this to me is Miles Davis' last great album. It's just a rock and driving album. What is it called? Egg Harta. Yeah, I like that album. Okay. Oh, this is a little obscure. Human Hands. This is a 12-inch. I'm very familiar with that song, Jubilee. This is a very good record. This is one of them LA bands. It's kind of like Talking Heads. I don't know. Joy Division. There was a lot of those bands in LA, and the LA record companies, for some reason, they just didn't sign a lot of these LA bands. And this is as close to a vertical swirl that I have. But yeah, this was a good band. If this band would have been in New York, they would have been signed to a major Sire Records more than likely, you know. But the LA record companies were pretty lame. They were looking for the next Van Halen or Eagles or whatever. This is a great hardcore punk DOA, Vancouver, Canada band. Hardcore 81. Really good album. Good punk album. Early 80s. Oh, shit. Flower Leopards. This is with Tony Adolescent, the singer from the Adolescents, and the Flower Leopards. This is a great album. It's more of a rock than it is punk. And I recommend this. Anybody that likes heavy metal or just good hard rock, if you can find this album, check it out, man. This is a great album. They were a good band. I never did see them live. Oh shit. Another pretty cool. Plan 9. I have about 3 of their albums. This band, just look at the back. Look how many band members there are there. Now usually when you see a band with that many members, it means they have a horn section. But not this band, man. They got drums, bass, organ, and 5 guitar players. Oh man, it's like 5 guitar players. And this is kind of like a. They remind me of a Brian Jonestown Massacre. You know, this is like a Brian Jonestown Massacre in the '80s version of that. Really good band. Oh shoot! This is a very obscure. This is Burst Out, West Japanese Skinheads. These are all Japanese skinhead bands. Now see, what a lot of people don't realize, they think skinheads and they think racist, you know, that, what's that Metzger guy and how he recruited skinheads, but originally, I mean, there were black skinheads here in LA even, you know, and what they stood for was a working class ethic, but it kind of just got hijacked by the Nazi skinhead shitholes. But this is a really obscure. This, of all the records so far, this is probably the most obscure of them all. Blade. That's the one band on here that probably the most famous. But all the rest here, you know, I've never heard of any of them. Oh man, this one here I have played this one a few months back. Stanley Clarke. TMT, I think he showed this album and he asked anybody, tell me a reason why I should like this album. So I pulled it out and I listened to it, but I never did respond. So I guess I'll respond now. The main reason to like this album is not the great guitar solos, the great, who was the guitar player? Bill Connors. Oh no, Bill Connors is the, guitar player. And then you have Jan Hammer on keyboards. The reason to really dig this album is the rhythm section. Stanley Clarke on bass and Tony Williams, who I think is one of the best drummers around, period. I mean, a lot of people say Billy Cobham. I think Tony Williams is a much better drummer. Side 1 on this is a pretty fusion. Side 2, not so much. The first song, in fact, on side 2, I didn't really care for. Spanish Phases for strings and bass. It's like, he has some bass soloing, and then strings come in, and then it goes back to bass soloing, and it might have been a good idea on paper, but it didn't really work out. And then Life Suite, that's a pretty good song. That's a good finishing. But this is a good fusion. But man, the bass playing and the drumming on that album are killer. And the last one, this is 100 Flowers. You can see down at the bottom there. This was originally, see the picture down here? The dude's totally naked with his thing hanging out there. I never realized that I don't know how long I had that before. What the hell? This dude's totally naked. But this band started out as the Urinals. Their first concert was a total satire. It was a joke. Kind of like a satire on punk rock, and they played all the songs, just 2 chords. That's all they played in the whole concert. And as they played more, they got better, and they decided to change their names to 100 Flowers. This band was a big influence on the Minutemen. Really cool songs. There's some really funky stuff, kind of like that. If I remember right, the first song, or no, All Sexed Up, the second song, it's kind of like that funky Talking Heads sound. And really good album. This is a good one to end it on. And that's it. It's halftime right now. The Orange Bowl, watching that game, pretty good game. I don't really watch a lot of college football. I'll watch the playoffs, but college football, to me, it's just too many of the games are mismatches, and I just don't like the whole rating system. I think it's a joke. They need to have a better playoff system. I mean, now what they have now is better than nothing, but they could do better. And take care, guys and gals, and have a happy new year. We're having pozole. I can smell it right now. Take care.